The most dangerous lie you can tell yourself is that your silence is a weapon. You are sitting there, watching the clock, measuring the minutes between the last message you sent and the silence that followed. You think you are starving her of your presence. You think you are building a vacuum that she will eventually rush to fill. But look at your hands. They are shaking. Look at your phone. It is a brick of glass and metal that has become the center of your universe. You aren't wielding silence. Silence is wielding you. You've been told that pulling away creates value. You've been told that if you vanish, she will finally feel the weight of what she lost. But here is the cold, cinematic truth that no one wants to admit. If your presence didn't carry weight, your absence will never carry a shadow. You are trying to use a ghost to do the work that a man couldn't do. Think about the room you're sitting in right now. If the air is still and the lights are dim, you don't notice the silence because it's peaceful. You notice the silence because you are screaming inside of it. You are performing. You are standing on a stage in an empty theater, holding your breath, waiting for an audience that already left the building. That isn't strategy. That is a funeral for your self-respect. She isn't sitting in the dark wondering where you went. She isn't replaying your last conversation, searching for clues of your departure. Life is moving around her. The world is loud, vibrant, and demanding. And while you are treating your silence like a tactical nuclear strike, she is treating it like a quiet afternoon. Why? Because you made your attention cheap. You offered your soul up for a discount long before you decided to go quiet. You were the man who responded too fast, who explained too much, who negotiated his boundaries every time she looked the other way. You built a foundation of sand, and now you're surprised that the house didn't stay standing when you stopped holding up the walls. Silence only works when it is a byproduct of a life well lived. When a man of high value goes silent, it's because he is busy. He is building. He is focused. He is engaged with a reality that doesn't require a screen to exist. But when you go silent as a trick, as a move, as a way to get her back, the energy of your desperation leaks through the digital void. It has a scent. It smells like a trap. It feels like a leash. Women are biologically and psychologically tuned to frequency. They don't just hear what you say, they feel the frequency you're operating on. If you go silent, but you are still orbiting her social media, still asking your friends about her, still checking your notifications every 30 seconds, you haven't actually left. You are still there, kneeling at the altar of her validation, just with your mouth shut. That isn't strength. That is suppressed hunger. And hunger is never attractive to someone who is already full. You think you're being mysterious. You think you're creating a dark knight persona. In reality, you are just becoming a ghost that doesn't haunt anyone. You are waiting for a checking in text that will never come because you've already shown her that you'll always be there if she just whistles. Your silence is a protest, not a power move. And protests are for people who don't have the power to make a change. Let's look at the mirror for a second. Why are you doing this? Be honest with yourself. Is it because you truly want peace? Is it because you've realized that this connection doesn't serve your highest self? No, you're doing it because you want a reaction. You want her to hurt. You want her to feel a fraction of the anxiety that is currently eating your stomach alive. But here is the psychological reality of the woman you're trying to trigger. If she didn't value the person you were when you were talking, she will not value the person you are when you're quiet. Silence doesn't transform a bronze coin into a gold bar. It just stops the coin from clinking. If she saw you as an option, your absence simply clears the board for her next choice. It gives her permission to forget. This stings because it's supposed to. Your ego is screaming right now because it's been exposed. You thought you were the director of this movie, but you're just an extra who walked off set, hoping the lead actress would stop the production to find you. She didn't. The cameras are still rolling. The story is moving on. So, what do you do when the silence fails? What do you do when you realize your strategy has only succeeded in making you more lonely? You stop performing. You have to understand the difference between tactical silence and essential silence. Tactical silence is a lie. It's a bait. It's a way of saying, I'm going to act like I don't care, so you'll care more. It is manipulative and it is weak. Essential silence, however, is the mark of a man who has found his center. It is the silence of a man who has looked at a situation, realized it is beneath his standards, and simply closed the door. He doesn't close it loudly to make sure she hears the slam. He closes it softly because he's already thinking about where he's going next. The reason your silence isn't affecting her is because you are still waiting for it to work. The moment you stop waiting for it to work is the moment you actually become powerful. Imagine a man who doesn't check his phone, not because he's trying to be alpha, but because his day is packed with purpose. He is at the gym, he is in a meeting, he is deep in a book, he is connecting with brothers who challenge him. When his phone lights up, it's an interruption, not a lifeline. That man's silence is heavy. It has gravity. It pulls people in because it feels like a mountain, immovable, unbothered, and self-contained. You are currently a leaf in the wind, trying to act like a mountain by holding still for a few hours. If you want to be the man who is felt, you have to stop trying to be felt. You have to undergo a radical shift in identity. You have to stop being a subscriber to her life and start being the author of your own. Your silence should be the natural result of your evolution. You should be silent because you no longer have anything to say to someone who doesn't listen. You should be silent because your energy is too expensive to spend on a dead-end street. The pain you feel right now is the death of a fantasy. You love the idea of her more than the reality of her. You love the potential of what could be if you just played your cards right. But life isn't a card game. It's a resonance. And right now, you are resonating at the frequency of please notice me. Break the cycle. Put the phone in another room. Go outside. Feel the cold air. Feel the weight of your own body. Realize that you are a biological miracle, a descendant of warriors and survivors, and you are currently being held hostage by a girl who hasn't texted you back. It's absurd. It's beneath you. When you truly understand your worth, silence isn't something you use. It's something you inhabit. It becomes your shield. It becomes the space where you rebuild your shattered frame. You don't go quiet to make her realize what she lost. You go quiet so you can realize what you were losing by chasing her. You were losing your edge. You were losing your mission. You were losing your soul. She doesn't react because she can feel that you're still there. She can feel the invisible thread of your longing. Cut the thread, not to win a game, but to save your life. There is a version of you that is coming. A version of you that doesn't need to play psychological games to feel important. This man is coming, but he cannot arrive until you stop being the guy who waits. Every time you resist the urge to check her status, you grow a new layer of skin. Every time you redirect your focus from why isn't she calling to what am I building today, you gain a pound of spiritual muscle. This is the work. It is boring, it is painful, and it is the only way out. The world respects what it cannot easily have, but it honors what does not need its respect. If you want to be unforgettable, you have to be willing to be forgotten. You have to be okay with the possibility that she might never reach out again. You have to be okay with the idea that the story is over, because as long as you are holding on to the maybe, you are not free. And a man who isn't free can never be truly attractive. True masculine power is the ability to walk away and never look back. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with a clean heart. It's the ability to say, this was a beautiful moment, but it's no longer my path. Your silence is failing because it's a lie. Make it the truth. Let your absence be final. Let your focus be absolute. Stop looking for a signal from her and start looking for the signal from your own future. The silence she doesn't notice is the one you're using as a bait. The silence she will eventually fear is the one that comes from a man who has finally, irrevocably moved on. But by the time that happens, you won't care if she notices or not. You'll be too busy living a life that makes the very idea of waiting for a text seem like a distant, faded memory. The door is open. You've been standing in the threshold, looking back over your shoulder. Turn around, walk through. The silence on the other side isn't empty. It's full of everything you gave up while you were busy trying to be noticed. Your power isn't in your silence. Your power is in your presence and the wisdom to know who deserves it. Start now. Kill the actor. Burn the script. Stop the performance. Be the man who is too busy building a kingdom to care who is watching from the sidelines. That is the only silence that has ever mattered. That is the only silence that will ever change your life. You've spent enough time in the waiting room. The world is waiting for the man you are about to become. Don't keep it waiting any longer. This is where the game ends and your life begins. Choose yourself fully, completely, without apology. Because if you don't value the man in the mirror, why should anyone else? The silence ends here. The action starts now. Step into the light.